Throw Your Tooth on the Roof by Selby Beeler, illustrated by G. Brian Carras. Has this ever happened to you? You find a loose tooth in your mouth. Yikes! You can wiggle it with your finger. You can push it back and forth with your tongue. Then one day, it falls out. There you are, with your old baby tooth in your hand and a big hole in your mouth. It happens to everyone, everywhere, all over the world. Look, my tooth fell out, my tooth fell out. But what happens next? Well, that depends where in the world you are. North America, United States. I put my tooth under my pillow. While I'm sound asleep, the tooth fairy will come into my room, take my tooth, and leave some money in its place. Canada. At night, I put my tooth under my pillow and wait for the tooth fairy. Mexico. When I go to sleep, I leave my tooth in a box on the bedside table. I hope that El Raton, the magic mouse, will take my tooth and bring me some money. He leaves more money for a front tooth. Native America. Yupik. My mother wraps my tooth in a food like meat or bread. Then I feed it to a female dog and say, replace this tooth with a better one. Yellowknife. My mother or grandmother takes my tooth and puts it in a tree, and then my family dances around it. This makes certain that my new tooth will grow in as straight as a tree. Navajo. My mother saves my tooth until my mouth stops hurting. Then we take my tooth to the southeast, away from our house. We bury the tooth on the east side of a healthy young sagebrush, rabbit brush, or pinyon tree, because we believe that east is the direction associated with childhood. Central America and the Caribbean. Costa Rica. My mother takes my tooth and has it plated with gold and made into an earring for me to wear. Dominican Republic. I throw my tooth on the roof of my house so a mouse can come take it away and bring me a better one. Sometimes I get money when I do this. El Salvador. I put my tooth under my pillow. My father says that during the night a rabbit will come. It will take my tooth and leave me some money. Guatemala. I put my tooth under my pillow and wait for El Raton to leave me some money. Haiti. I throw my tooth on the roof and I say, rat, 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 I give you a beautiful tooth. Send me back an old tooth. I say the opposite of what I really want because I'm going to trick the crafty rat into giving me what I want. Jamaica. At night, after my tooth falls out, the rolling calf comes, rattling chains, and take me and my tooth away. I put my tooth in a tin can and shake it hard. The noise keeps the rolling calf away. South America, Argentina. I put my tooth in a glass of water. During the night, a little mouse called El Ratoncito will come and drink all the water, take my tooth, and leave me some coins or candy in the empty glass. Brazil. My mother tells me to throw my tooth outside and say this poem. Lovely birds, dear birds, take away this tooth of mine and bring another one to me. The birds only take clean teeth, so I must brush my teeth every day. I also live in Brazil, but I throw my tooth out the window and on the roof, and I say, St. John, take this rotten tooth and give me a healthy one. Colombia. I put my tooth under my pillow and wait for a mouse called El Raton Miguelito to take my tooth and leave my money in its place. Venezuela. I put my tooth under my pillow. While I'm asleep, a mouse will take the tooth and bring me some coins. Chile. I give my tooth to my mother. She will have it made into a charm, set in gold or silver, so I can wear it as a necklace or an earring. Africa. Cameroon. I throw my tooth over the roof, shouting, take this bad tooth and bring me a new one. Then I hop around my house on one foot and everybody laughs. Mali. I throw my tooth in the chicken coop. The next day, I might find a big fat hen in the coop, and my mother will make chicken soup. Botswana. I throw my tooth on the roof and say, Mr. Moon, please bring me a new tooth. Benin. If I lose an upper tooth, I throw it on the roof. If I lose a lower tooth, I dig a hole and bury it in the ground. My grandmother says, if a lizard sees my tooth, a new one will not grow, so I'm careful to keep it hidden until it's buried. Nigeria. I hold my tooth in my fist with 8 stones to make a total of 9. A girl will hold 6 stones, so her tooth will make 7. Next, I close my eyes, I say my name out loud, I count back to the number in my fist, and I say, oh, I want my tooth back. Then I throw them and run away. It's very important to run away. Uganda. I leave my tooth behind a pot along the path the rats use. The next day, my tooth will be gone, and I will find money in that spot. Some rats are poorer than others. South Africa. I leave my tooth in a slipper in my room. Tonight, a mouse will come, take my tooth, and leave me a gift. My sister is afraid of mice, so she left her slipper outside of her door. The mouse left her a present anyway. Africa continued. Egypt. I wrap my tooth in some cotton or a tissue and take it outside. I say, shining sun, take this buffalo's tooth and give me a bride's tooth. Then I throw the tooth high up at the eye of the sun. The Arabic word for bride is arusa, which also means a candy or a sweet. Morocco. I put my tooth under my pillow when I go to bed. The next morning, I must rise with the sun and throw my tooth towards the sun while I say, I give you a donkey's tooth and I ask you to replace it with a gazelle's tooth. Otherwise, I might get donkey teeth. Libya. I throw my tooth at the sun and say, bring me a new tooth. My father tells me that I have a bright smile because my teeth come from the sun. Mauritania. My parents tell me to wrap my tooth in a small piece of cloth and throw it as hard as I can onto the roof of my house. If I get up very early the next morning, I will find a rooster on the roof and I can keep him. If I don't awake early enough, I won't find a rooster. Lebanon. I throw my tooth into the sea or a field and say, oh son, take the mouse tooth and give me a gold tooth. Oman. I face the sun and throw my tooth as far as I can while I say, oh mighty sun, take this tooth, play with it, and do not forget to bring it back. Turkey. If my parents want me to grow up to graduate from school, they might bury my tooth in the garden of a university. If they hope I will become a doctor, they bury it in the garden of a hospital. Or they could bury it in a soccer field, so I will grow up to be a very good soccer player. Europe. Greece. I throw my tooth on the roof for good luck and make a wish so that my teeth will grow strong and healthy. Denmark. I put my tooth under my pillow at night and wait for the tooth fairy called Tandfin to take my tooth and leave me some money. England. When I go to sleep, I put my tooth under my pillow and wait for the tooth fairy to come. France. I put my tooth under my pillow. A mouse, la petite souris, will come and take it and give a gift to me. Germany. I don't do anything special with my tooth. Sweden. I put my tooth in a glass of water. In the morning, my tooth will be gone and a coin will be in the glass. Spain. I tuck my tooth under my pillow while I am asleep. The little mouse called Ratoncito Perez will take my tooth and leave me money or candy in return. Georgia. I throw my tooth high up on the roof of my house and I say, mouse, mouse, take away my spoiled tooth and send me back a strong, healthy one. Kazakhstan. I drop my tooth under the bathtub and say, mouse, mouse, bring me a new tooth, please. We don't have any mice in our apartment, but I do it anyway. Kyrgyzstan. I roll my tooth in bread and give it to an animal, preferably a mouse because they have healthy, sharp, white teeth and grow quickly. If I feed it to a dog, I might get ugly yellow teeth. Moldova. I throw my tooth on the roof of the house and say, crow, crow, coming from the mill, I am giving you a milk tooth. Now you give me a bone one. Russia. My mother said to put my tooth in a mouse hole in the ground. Tajikistan. I sow my teeth in the fields and they grow up to be warriors. Lithuania. I keep my tooth as a keepsake. Asia. Afghanistan. I drop my tooth inside a mouse hole, saying, "Take my dirty old tooth and give me your small, clean one instead." Bangladesh. I throw my tooth in a mouse or rat hole and hope the mice will give me back strong white teeth like theirs. I usually get a present when I do this. India. I throw my tooth on the roof and ask a sparrow to bring me a new one. Nepal. My mother and father say that if a crow or a bird seize or eat my tooth, a new one won't come in. I bury my tooth in the garden and cover it with soil. Or I might cover the tooth with cow dung or mud or throw it on the roof so it will be hidden. Pakistan. I wrap my tooth in cotton. At sunset, I go to the river and I throw my tooth in the water. It will bring me good luck. If no river is nearby, I throw it in a good site, like a garden. Sri Lanka. I close my eyes and say, "Squirrel, squirrel, take this tooth and give me a new one." Then I throw the tooth on the roof and run into the house without looking. Malaysia. I bury my tooth because it is part of my body and needs to be returned to the earth. Cambodia. If I lose a lower tooth, I throw it on the roof. If I lose an upper tooth, I put it under my bed. My parents tell me that the new tooth will grow towards the old one and it will come in straight. Indonesia. I throw my tooth backwards over the roof. My mother says I must throw it very straight so that my new tooth will grow in straight. Philippines. I hide my tooth in a special place and make a wish. A year later, if I can still find my tooth, I make another wish. Singapore. I throw my lower teeth straight up to the roof so that my new teeth will also grow up straight. I throw my upper teeth straight down to the ground. If I do not throw them, my new tooth might not grow in straight. Thailand. My sisters and brothers tell me to throw my lower tooth on the roof and put my upper tooth under my bed. Vietnam. I throw my lower tooth on the roof and throw my upper tooth under the bed. China. I put my upper tooth at the foot of my bed and the bottom tooth on the roof. My parents say that it will make my new tooth grow faster. I put my upper tooth on the ground and my lower tooth on the roof. My new tooth will be pulled in the opposite direction and it will grow quickly. Japan. If I lose an upper tooth, I throw it in the dirt. If I lose a lower tooth, I throw it on the roof. My new tooth will grow towards the old one so that it comes in straight. Korea. I throw my tooth on the roof and say, "Blackbird, blackbird, my old tooth I give you, bring me a new one." Taiwan. I throw my tooth on the roof. Australia and New Zealand. Aboriginal Australians. My family helps put my tooth inside the shoot of a pandanus plant so that when the pandanus grow into a tree, my tooth will grow too. There are spirits in the pandanus leaves that will look after me while my tooth is growing. Australia. I put my tooth under my pillow and wait for the tooth fairy to take my tooth and bring me some money. New Zealand Maori. I put my tooth under my pillow. My parents will collect the tooth and give me a small gift. Then they will throw my tooth into the mighty river. My tribe is named after the river. Teeth fall out all over the world. Every day. What do you do with yours? The end.